I do remember seeing another video where you had talked about that there may be a genetic predisposition towards being a Wayseer, and that perhaps the type of person who came from overseas once upon a time to America for a better way of life, the kind of courage and risk taking involved in doing something like that is unique, and that genetically it may account for a higher percentage of what you're calling Wayseers. What kind of data are you using to arrive at this, like 1 in 4, if I got you right? People in the United States who either are Wayseers or at least have that maybe dormantly within them.
Two sets of overlapping data is what I've used to arrive at these numbers. The first interesting piece of data is this wild little gene called the DRD4 7 repeat polymorphism. And this gene, and you could search it, DRD4 space 7R, this gene seems to be the innovation gene in humanity. Now, there's other genes that can make somebody a Wayseer. This one just happens to be a very common culprit. Now, are there other ways to be a Wayseer without having this gene? I just want to say right up front, yes, there are. Timothy Leary wanted to make everyone Wayseers. He said, turn on, tune in, drop out. But his turn on was drop acid, right? And when you do some sort of psychotropic drugs like that, you can take someone who's not a Wayseer and make them a Wayseer through the use of these psychoactive drugs. L-Dopa is a drug used by pharmaceutical companies right now to treat Parkinson's disease patients. And people with Parkinson's disease who are not Wayseers, who take these L-Dopa drugs, actually become Wayseers. They become incredibly creative and open and impulsive, and all the traits of Wayseers come out when they take these drugs. Now, you can use L-Dopa, which is another dopamine drug, to achieve the same results. And I do believe that through decades of meditation and devotion to a spiritual path, one could also achieve. So someone who is not typically a Wayseer could become, sort of crack their mind open through their sheer will of their own soul to achieve that kind of openness.
Yeah, I've often thought about, the type of individual who in the mid-1800s would have set out to California for the gold rush. That becomes our gene pool. It's no wonder that Hollywood and Silicon Valley and just so many innovations would come out of California.